Hey everybody, Julie Quinn here, and I want to go over the writing assignment number 4 and share with you some of my thoughts on this submission just as far as the format is concerned. And this is an updated video. If you watched the prior video, I've decided to tinker with it just a little bit more and go into more detail about the differences between the Victoria model and this one. So you were asked in week 3 to look at the Victoria Business School model, and you'll see that the model starts with a memorandum and then a cover page and then the executive summary. But if you look at what the writing assignment number 4 says, the components of the report starts with the title page and then the letter to the decision maker. And I'll be honest with you, I don't care if you flip those two around. Victoria Business School starts with the letter and then the transmittal letter and then the title of the report to follow. I think that's perfectly fine. I actually kind of like that, but I will not penalize you if you flip the order of title page or a letter to the decision maker. But note that this letter is not the memo that you've already put together in writing assignment number 3. It's just a small transmission letter. And you can see this right here in the sample for evening shades. And remember those videos that go over some of these samples from the two different professors of 394? The transmittal letter is brief. It's not the retooling of the memo. It's like, here's a report that you requested. Boom. The sentence of summary. Thank you for reading the report. I hope to speak to you about it soon in the future. Sincerely, your name. You know, with just traditional memo content written in block letter format. So when you do the transmittal letter, please note that this is not the same thing as the memo from writing assignment number 3. Block format, single space, no indents. This is just, hey, here's the report. You know, in a more formal business writing. And I'm going to write, see the evening shades sample. Okay. Then you've got your executive summary, then your table of contents, and then the report, and the report's different bits and sections. And I noticed in some of the samples, you guys saw an overview of methods. Let's take a look at the Victoria School model, introduction, scope of the study. I don't remember which one. Maybe it wasn't Victoria, but one of the other samples had an overview of methods. I really don't think that's necessary. I'll be honest with you. You had some readings in week 6 that said there are different ways to organize your report based on whether you had a pleasant, you know, an agreeable audience or a hostile audience. And so I'm pretty flexible. Report, you know, has a bit of flexibility in organization based on audience hostility or, you know, or knowledge. Right? Start with an introduction. I don't think you need an overview of methods, just the methods themselves, results, recommendations, and then references and any appendix materials. Don't forget that. If you did a survey, questions, whatever, I'd like to see what you asked during that primary research. So just make sure that you include all of these sections here. And one final thing that I wanted to point out to you, you can go into the assignments themselves. Let me show you as a student what it looks like to go into the assignments. So go into the assignments. I mean, you know what this looks like, but I want to show you assignment number 4. When you click on it, there are sections that are actually gradable in here. They're not in the order that the assignment is set up. Maybe I can tinker with that and fix that before final, so it's easier for you to follow along and grade. The length is 10% for the final submission, obviously not the draft. The executive summary, which you've already worked on. That transmittal letter is not your memo, just remember, but that's in here, and that's 4%. Table of contents is only 3, so it's not a big value, and I wouldn't waste a lot of time on that formatting. I would spend most of your time on the actual report. Here's the introduction to the report, and then the body of the report. So what I would do if I were you is, especially as you're working on the draft, just make sure that you use this report as an editorial tool. You may not have every section finished during the draft phase of this, section of this, but you can then highlight what parts you need to make. So maybe you wrote the body of the report, but you didn't include section headers yet. Well, that's 3%. Little bits of this mean a lot, and headers in the end actually really help people quickly flip around to get to the spaces in the document that they need. Stakeholders in business writing may not always read an entire report, so headers would be important. But that you're still practicing APA style, and you'll notice that this is use of sources is 12% of the assignment grade, so don't forget those. And grammar mechanics are 20%. Obviously, in the draft, I'll point out some grammar mechanics issues just to continue to remind you of what's important for that final submission. But it'll be up to you to work with me during conference, to work with the Effective Writing Center, maybe even to reach out to classmates. So what I would do if I were you is use the assignment rubric, use the assignment handout. There's an overview that goes over all of the different content that you need. It talks about submitting, you'll submit a first draft to the assignment essay folder. The first draft is not graded, but then that gives me an opportunity to see who did a draft and who did a final. So it's important to look at the handout that goes within the assignment. It's also important to look at the rubric. And then I have created a handout that's going to be below this video that it shows you an organization that I think works well. Okay? Reach out if you have any questions, and I look forward to seeing your drafts.